Little history lesson tonight right here on Branded After Dark. Your man Branded in the house tonight. And you know what? To be honest, I've been waiting and anticipating this day for for a while, for a long time now. I mean, you're listening to historic music and classic music that people can actually listen to 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now. And it always stays timeless, and it always stays classic for a lot of different reasons, sentimental reasons, emotional reasons, relationship-wise or whatnot. But I'm just glad everybody's here tonight listening to what we have in store for you tonight. Like I said, this is Branded After Dark, and not only are we blessed by having iconic figures of the Manhattans here, we also have Miss Jan Gay, wife of the late Marvin Gaye. She'll be on a little bit later on. But first and foremost, I have my man in the house tonight, Mr. Hardy of the Manhattans. And how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm hanging in there, a little bit under the weather, but I just had to call and thank everybody for being there for us. It'll be 50 years in another 2 years that the Manhattans have been in existence. So, hey, we just doing what we got to do to keep on the legacy, my man. But thank you so much for having us here.
And still going strong, and it's funny how you mentioned, 50 years, and, of course, I'm in my 30s, and at the same time, it's like, I grew up so much listening to a lot of music that influences me today, and the different types of age brackets that kind of creeps into the Manhattan's fan base is getting younger and younger from what I'm understanding. I don't know if you knew that, but it's, you have people in not just the 30s, but also the 20s and late teens that still listen to the Manhattan music. You knew that though, right?
Yes, sir. We usually see a lot of the grandparents and then the parents and now the grandkids, coming to the shows and stuff. But we noticed that that our music has endured, over the years. And that's the thing, is that, it is something when you can look back and you can see the history of something, and it still is just as fresh as it was when it first started. Yeah, and that's the good thing, is that everybody does accept our music, and that's the good thing. It's not lost in the shuffle like a lot of other things in life may be. But this music, love music, and will always be. It'll always be here. Because after you dance all night long with that fast stuff, it got to be a slow song somewhere. Hopefully it's not a Manhattan song, but it got to be somewhere.
No doubt. No doubt. And, I mean, in the song that we just heard right here, I mean, that's a song for many a breakups and happened to that song, man. And, it's a lot of songs that's been done throughout the years, but, it's, the emotional attachments is definitely one of the reasons why I feel like music is an evolution, and it's always going to evolve if treated right, and if the legacy can be maintained by the appreciation. Like, to me, I feel like even though the the fan base, even though it's it spans different generations, there's still, of course, I feel in my book that the Manhattans and other groups need more of an avenue, just so they can be able to get other people even younger, or people appreciating what music means to them nowadays,
Yeah. It's funny when you talk about music, because if you just thought about it, if the world was without music, where would we be?
No doubt.
And that's the thing, but like I said, we're just so happy that, that our fans are still supporting us, and not only us, but a lot of our friends, such as the Shylights, the Stylistics, the Delphonics, the Blue Notes. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And the tour that we usually be on, which is called the 70 Soul Jam Tour, when you come out and you see that mostly all of the venues that are being played by these artists, they're always sold out.
Right.
But yet, it seems like that you don't hear too much of our music in the mainstream time period on radio and stuff, you know. But that's what I always been startled about, that, wow, how could everything be sold out as far as concerts go, but yet you don't have room to put the music that has been a foundation. You know what I'm saying? The music that has been a foundation, you know, for the younger artists that's coming along now and stuff, man. But hey, you know, it is what it is, and we're going to keep on doing what we got to do. And as long as you got the internet and you can get downloads and iTunes and everything else like that, I guess our stuff will live on. You know, our music will live on. So that's
absolutely. You know, and one of the things that I've actually wanted to ask, you know, ever since that we put this interview together, is not only what are the Manhattans up to. One question, but the other part of the question is how have you managed to, you know, change with the times? I mean, like you just said, the internet, the online radio, the Facebook and Twitter and all these social media networks. How have you guys been able to adjust to just the new wave of how music is done now?
Well, I think it's just where it becomes automatic. You know, and that's all in the business end. See, it's not just about performing, because you're an entertainer. You have to know what the business end is, and you know, and basically it's a job. The more you network, you know, the more that you're going to be known. You know, so it's a thing like that. But we have a hell of a marketing manager in Miss Sharon Cadesis. I think she was contacting you. To get us on this interview, you know, but she has worked with us diligently over the last 2-3 years, you know, and we just sat down and we said, now how are we going to project the group to go to the next step for the next 50 years, you might as well say. You know, how are we going to do this? You know, so lately we've been in the studio. We're going to put out a new CD. But right now we're in the pre-production stages of that CD. I think we're on the third or the fourth song, if I'm not mistaken. You know.
All right.
Yeah. So we're looking to put out something, mostly maybe by the summer. I say at least a single will be out by then. When the completion of the CD will be, I couldn't tell you. You know, there's so much material that we're going through now. You know, but in the process of that, we're also working with outside project that was started up by a young lady named Miss Annette Williams, and it's called the KIE project. And that project is dealing with the environment, you know, and showing the people that, you know, environmental hazards throughout the world, as far as different chemicals and stuff like that, how it could change you as a person, you know, and we're just giving back to the community. That's another project that we're working on called Showcase of Dreams, working with wayward children, you know, of all walks of life that have their own talents, you might as well say, and what we do is we put together a performance and let them perform their talents at this show, you know, and we give them out awards and you know, and scholarships and stuff like that. We've been working with that for maybe 7-8 years, you know. Wow. So there's a lot of things that we want to get into. There's an awareness program that we started that a lot of our performances, we're going to do a lot of performances for research, such as for diabetes, for cancer, for sickle cell, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that we're getting into to give back to the community and back to the people, you know, that have supported us over the years.
Man, and you know what? That's something that I feel like the nation. I know the fan base. If they're checking for you, they're going to know a lot of this. But for the people that probably didn't know or where to contact or find out, wow, the Manhattans is coming back with some new music. That's good to hear. And not only that, being proactive and active in the community is to me, I think it's heavy. I think that's probably the biggest hit or the biggest chart topper you'll ever have in life is to be able to provide that, to have that name behind you and to push your beliefs and the fact that you want to continue legacies live through younger people. I mean, that's bigger than any hit you can have, huh?
Well, it's like this. If it wasn't for the public, there wouldn't be a Manhattan.
No
you
doubt.
know, and Mr. Bivens had wrote that song when he wrote "There's No Me Without You," and it's true. There is no us without the fan base, without the public, because they're the ones that put you out there, and they're the ones that keep you out there. So I feel that giving back to them is just a portion of what could be done, but just looking out and just helping one another in the world, period. That's the good thing, that's the good thing. If you had people that understood that, there's a lot of selfishness in the world, a lot of selfishness in the world, and it's just where you just got to put that to the side sometimes, and hey, if there's somebody that needs some help, hey, reach out to them, do something for them, or for a community, something that's a good cause. I mean, I think everybody can do something bad, but
That's
do
right.
something good.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have put it in better words, and it means a lot, and especially compared to just how the evolution of R&B and soul has. It's like, what you talking about as far as showing appreciation and love and respect and things like that. I kind of feel like, I wasn't born and raised in the era where you began, but that torch seemed to have passed on to a generation and then following that generation. But a lot of people nowadays seem to realize or understand that, wow, you know what, the R&B and soul it doesn't have that purity anymore. I mean, do you kind of agree with that, or is there still hope for the people like us that really want to kind of grab on to really meaningful songs like it was back in the day?
It's always going to be room for that. It's always going to be room for that. You have to look at the business end of not only just music, but everyday life.
Right.
Jobs and stuff like that. You have to look at the business end. What is it that makes it tick? What is it that would continue the process of the product that you're selling or that you're manufacturing to keep it going, to make money? So, so you got to look at it like this. Music changes every second of the day.
It's true.
It's how people accept it, and ballads, which is, the Manhattan's always been a balladeer group, but, you know of heartaches, of hurt, of happiness, and with these songs that the Manhattans have recorded over the years, that's what it's about, and people can relate to it. So I feel as long as you put out good material that people can relate to, then it shouldn't be no problem. It shouldn't be no problem.
That is true. I kind of see it as, especially music, and what you said was, you hit the nail right on the head about accepting. Like, to me, I think it's really up to us as media people and the fans to be able to grab particular songs or songs that I always believe in. Try to make music that people will be able to listen to 50 years from now. And I always saw it as that.
Yeah, but that just shows the longevity of an artist, as well as of a song that an artist may sing. The longer it stays in somebody's head as far as 2, 3, 4, 5 generations down the line, and they still are relating to that song, and that song is still, being heard, then that's the endurance of the song. So, and that's what you want. You want it to just last and last and last and last.
What about songwriting, too? I mean, I know there's a lot of responsibility in regards to that. So when you're sitting down, either with a group or by yourself, and you're coming up with with something that you want to have that you can be able to get out to the people, like what's your mind frame when you actually go into songwriting?
Well, to me, as far as me, as a songwriter, everyday life. You could see things or you can live things, and you can write about them because you have, because you're subject to them. So to me, a song is about a story. You're just telling a story, and I'm almost certain you can talk to anybody and tell them about your whole life. Am I right?
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's
You're
just
right.
putting it into context to make a song out of it, and just think about some of the lyrics on some of these different songs that you might love or you might have heard or something like that, and it's about experience. It's what's happening there. It's just real.
So when somebody's writing about a breakup song, they probably really went through that. Like, it was really a tearjerker situation where, hey, you know what? I gotta get this out. In a lot of ways, it's therapy too, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to you this way. It's to the point where if you can tell somebody of your hurt, of your happiness, of your joy, and they accept it, and it's where it makes a mark on you as a person or on you as a group or an artist, then go with it. But a lot of these songs are life experiences.
Let me ask you this, and we have Mr. Charles Hardy of the Manhattans on Branded After Dark, and I think it's time real quick to at least put we're going to say this is Charles Hardy, M.D., not just a iconic Manhattan group member, but we're going to put on a psychiatrist hat for you real quick. The marriages nowadays, it just seem like the divorce rate is real high. It's in the high 50s. The songs are kind of like really like separating themselves from really sentimental music versus the one night stand type of music, which people kind of seem to vibe with, I guess, in a lot of ways. Do you kind of see the fact that there's a lot of broken marriages correlate with some of the songs not being as, pro-marriage in certain ways?
Oh,
Dr. Hardy?
I'm not no therapist. I'm not no therapist. I couldn't answer that. I'll tell you the truth. I couldn't because I'm not in that field. So I don't know. I'm only one individual. You see what I'm saying? So
That's
to
right.
me, if music is good and people can relate to it and it helps them to get by, then so be it. So be it. I never will forget. This was last summer. We was in Katona Park in the Bronx, and we had just finished performing, and we was going to the back stage area, and there was this lady, and she was going through security, and security had stopped her and stuff like that. She said, "No, I just want to talk to the man. Please, let me talk to the man. Let me talk to him." And I saw this, and I said to the security guard, I said, "Let her through. Come on, let her through." And she said, "Look," she said, "all I wanted to do was tell you gentlemen that I loved your show. Thank you so much." She said, 3 hours ago, I was home, and she said, I was getting ready to commit suicide. It's a true story. I'm not making this up. She said, I committing to, she said, I was going to commit suicide. She said, my life is just so messed up and this, that, and the other, and with the drugs and all, just all of it. She said, but my friend called me up and said, I'm going to see the Manhattans at Katona Park. Do you want to come? And she said it must have been God, because she said she just dropped everything that she was even thinking about and doing and just came to the show. And she said that she was out there watching us perform. She said tears were just coming down her face because she knew what she was thinking about to do 3 hours prior to that show. And she said, I just wanted to thank you guys. Once I heard your songs, and it brought back memories and a good time, and this, that, I'm just so happy I didn't do what I was going to do. You know, and that right there, I mean, it just touched us so much, because it's like, wow, you know, so you never know what's going through somebody's mind. But like I said, if the music can change it, you know, and change them to go into a positive direction, you know, then, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I mean, what you said right there, and it's, you know, and people tend to forget, man, the power of music. Like, the music is good music, and music that will mold and shape people to last a lifetime. Like, you know, I'm heavily influenced by Manhattan's music, and I know it's a lot of listeners out there that do the same. So anytime that, you know, you have somebody of that stature on there, it's, you know, when it all comes down to it, and I know you know this as well, like, the gift that you have is definitely God-given. So for you to be able to share that to the public and to all these, you know, hundreds and thousands of listeners that not just is on right now, but throughout the globe, it's a big thing, this power of music, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, take music away from the world, and what do you have? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, what do they say? Music soothes the savage beast.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, but yeah, but it is something. You know, it is something, though. And like I said, people can relate to it because the songs, you know, they can relate to it because their experiences that they might have been through, or experiences that somebody else might have been through, or they know somebody that's been through, you know, so they can always relate to a song, especially the lyrics in a song, because it's hitting home somewhere.
That is heavy. That is heavy.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, if there's places where people can actually go, if they want to book the Manhattans, if you know, a promoter is listening right now, I've had a few of these questions come up in the last 10 minutes. How can they contact you or your staff to be able to set some things in motion?
Oh, well, they can always go. You can get us on Facebook, which is just the Manhattans, or you can go to our sites. There's so many websites that we have, but I'm going to give you the easiest one. You can just email me directly at hdancetoaloveSong1@AOL.com, or either I'll give you my personal number after we get off.
Hey.
I wouldn't say it on the phone, so if they call you, you can give it to them. You know.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you do that, you're going to have all kinds of people calling in. You know, you know, we was playing around with the whole therapist thing. You know, you're going to have that. You're going to, hey, Mr. Hardy, I got a question. Man, I'm having a bad day today. Like, what do you recommend for, you know, for me to get through the day or something like that? You're going to have, you have a whole bunch of people out there. Just,
well, you go to the Bible. That's what you do. You go to the Bible, you pray.
There you go.
Ask God to help you, you know, because I'm the only human, and he put me down here just like he put everybody else. You know, so I can't give you miracles, but he
Amen to that. Amen to that. Man, I want to thank you. I mean, I know you're not feeling well, so I definitely want to say get well, and please make sure you come back and hang out with me. And the moment you guys start, you know, leaking out a brand new single, make sure you bring it over here to Branded After Dark to debut it.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, man, for having us. You know, and anything we could do for you, just give us a call, and we do what we can do.
And the same here, and I will definitely be in contact with your staff, and I will put together something that I feel like, you know, we can do to help continue this line and this legacy that the Manhattans are continuing to push. And, you know, the legacy is yours. Like, you guys can retire from the business and don't do nothing else. But the simple fact that you guys are coming out with something else, something more to give to not just the new fans, but also to us diehards, that's big, man, and I appreciate that.
Well, hey, we just thank you all for the support over the years, and I do want to say this, that the Manhattans, Mr. Edward Sonny Bivens, who is the founding member and the leader of this group, you know, him, also our bass singer, Mr. Alvin Bazant, our lead singer, Mr. Lee Williams, our first tenor, Mr. Harsey Candyman Hemphill, and myself, we just appreciate the love that everybody has given us over the years, you know, and that's just like our other brothers, Mr. Winford Blue Lovett and Mr. Gerald Austin, who has been part of this family, you know, and still part of this family for years. A lot of people, you know, remember the Manhattans back in the 60s, you know, when the original lead singer, Mr. George Smith, was living, and their baritone singer, Mr. Richard Taylor, was living, and then when they passed away, and then when Blue Lovett and Kenny Kelly, when they retired, you know, and then when Gerald Austin, he went solo, but nevertheless, we are still family. We're always going to be family. And as simple as that, you know. And definitely want to give a shout out to the original road manager, who is our consultant, and he works with us still to this day. After 48 years, that's Mr. Toy Cates Jr. He's still with us, you know, and he's still holding down the fort with everybody. But we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You know, that's the power of the legacy, when you can be able to continue the name, and the name will still continue to reign supreme for decades on end. And that's your hard work amongst everybody else in the group, you know, the ones that's still here and the ones that's resting in peace too. So, you know, again, I can't thank you enough, man. Like I said, being a fan first means a lot to me, man. Trust me.
Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, anything we can do, just give it a holler. And you got Sharon's email and her number, and you can always call our marketing manager. You can call Sharon, and we do what we got to do, you know, to make everybody happy. I'll put it that way.
Hey, and you done made a whole bunch of listeners happy by you being on this show tonight, man. So get better, drink tea or whatever it is you got to do, man, and get well. And I'll definitely be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you so much, Brandon.
All right, take care. All right, that is Mr. Charles Hardy of the Manhattans. We're back after this.